Hey guys, welcome back to KidCoin Academy. I'm Dave, and here we are again. We're going to be talking about money. This is our third lesson in our series, What is Money? And today we are going to be talking about money as a store of value. So just to recap, we've talked about money as a medium of exchange. We defined what a medium is. We've defined how that helps us exchange things. We've talked about money as a unit of account. So money is a standard of measurement, kind of like a tape measure. We use an example of building a house. We all need to be using the same measuring system so that we can all be determining the value of things in the same way. So if you want to check that out, check out my first couple videos and you can learn about money as a medium of exchange and money as a unit of account. But today we're going to be talking about money as a store of value. So I hope you're looking forward to it. So let's get started.
Let's use an example. Let's say you want to save and buy the new Nintendo Switch 2. Right now in Canada, the Nintendo Switch 2 is $629. That's a lot. So it's going to take you some time. Let's say your parents decide to give you half, and then they say you have to earn the other half. So the first thing you need to do is figure out, how am I going to earn the rest? You could do babysitting, you could do chores, you could take out the garbage, mow the lawn, whatever. Let's say 6 months from now, you've earned your $629. And you go to the store to buy the Nintendo Switch 2, and the price is now $750. That wouldn't be very fair, would it? You spent all that time, you did the work, you earned the money, but you don't have enough. So this is what we mean when we say it's important that money is a store of value. It allows us to save and ensure that our savings are worth just as much 6 months from now as they are today. Or you could say, 6 months from now, I want my $629 to buy me the Nintendo Switch just like it does today.
Okay, so we want to make sure that the $629 we save can still buy the Nintendo Switch 2 6 months from now. So we want to make sure that we can store the value of money through time. This makes sense. I mean, you want to know that the money you save is going to be worth the same tomorrow as it is today. But is that actually true? A couple of very smart economists have very different views of whether it is important for money to be a store of value. And we're going to look into that right now. This is John Hicks. In 1989, at the age of 85, he published his last book called A Market Theory of Money. In it, he says, "What, however, of the third function, usually taken to go with them, of being a store of value? That money on occasion can be a store of value, that, as one used to say, it can be hoarded, is of course not to be denied, but this is no distinguishing property of money as such. Any durable and resellable good can be a store of value." So what is Hicks really saying here when he says that money as a store of value is not a distinguishing property and that any durable and resellable good can be a store of value? Well, what he's really saying is that you can exchange money for things that also store value through time. So let's go back to our earlier example where you're saving money for your Nintendo Switch 2. Imagine that as you earned that money, you spent that money right away on Pokemon cards. Let's say you spent them on Pokemon cards that were maybe even rare or that other people value as well. Well, when the time came for you to buy your Nintendo Switch 2, you could take those Pokemon cards that you had purchased with your money that you had earned, and you could sell them for money again. So as you earn money, you exchange it for something that also has value. And then when you want to buy the thing that you've been saving for, you could exchange those Pokemon cards back for the money to buy the Nintendo Switch 2. So this is what Hicks means when he says that money itself as a store of value is not a distinguishing property. So money itself, the cash in your pocket doesn't necessarily need to store value through time, because there are lots of things that can store value through time. Now, this other guy, John Maynard Keynes, disagreed. He thought that money should store value through time. And this is what he said. This is John Maynard Keynes. In 1936, Keynes wrote a paper called The General Theory of Employment, Interest, and Money. In it, he says that money is a link between the present and the future. It is the safest store of value in times of uncertainty. What this means is that holding money is valuable in itself. It gives savers the option to wait. You don't have to buy something else to store your value. The money you have stores value in itself. So, what is Keynes saying here? He's saying that money itself should hold value through time. Unlike Hicks, who says that money doesn't necessarily have to have the property of a store of value, Keynes says you should have the option to hold money and it hold its value through time. So in the example where we exchanged money that we had earned for Pokemon cards, and then later we exchanged those Pokemon cards for money so that we could buy our Nintendo Switch 2, Keynes is saying we shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't have to exchange money for something that stores value better than money. If we want, we should have the option to store money and have it hold its value through time. Another reason why Keynes thought that money should store value through time is because there's a risk to exchanging money for stuff and holding that stuff as your store of value. In the example where we earn money and we exchange it for Pokemon cards, hoping to later exchange it back for money, we run the risk of those Pokemon cards not being worth as much as we purchased them for in the future. So you could buy Pokemon cards today and say, you know what, that's okay. I'm going to exchange these Pokemon cards for money again in the future when I want to buy my Nintendo Switch 2. But what if the value of those Pokemon cards has fallen from the time you purchased them to the time you want to sell them again? So there's a risk there. And Keynes says, why should we have to take that risk? If we have money, it should hold its value through time without us having to go through all of these transactions to store its value. So what do you think? Do you think that Hicks is right, or do you think that Keynes is right? Let me know in the comments below what you think. But that is our lesson for today. Money as a store of value. So this is our third property. Money should be able to store value through time. When you plan to spend it in the future, it should have the same value as you thought it would today. I really appreciate you guys joining me again today. Thanks for watching. If you find this information entertaining or useful, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.